Hello, hello. Well done for making it. If you've been coming to the Weekend Away, I know it is tiring. If you haven't been to the Weekend Away, but part of the life course, welcome to you. And well done for all the rest of us who are here today. Now, I wonder, have any of you seen Mad About the Boys, the new Bridget? Yeah? Now, if I think about my life in London, I've been here for 10 years. It would be mad about the weekend. But for real, I wish I had a Hugh Grant, a Leo, a Chiwetel coming after me. Or even better, my own Mr. Darcy. Alas, I am no Bridget. But send them my way, though. Now, if you haven't been to the Weekend Away, do not worry or have FOMO, because tonight you also can start your own trailer. Now, some of you might be thinking, clearly, this girl, she doesn't have a life. Or you might be thinking, what is it about this weekend that keeps her on going? But hearing this amazing story, clearly something was going on that was deeply personal and powerful. And don't we all crave for something more, like we just heard? More peace, more joy, more miracle, more healing, more belonging, more freedom, more restoration. And I'm not going for less this and that, because when we do this, we look inwardly, and sometimes the risk is we can stay in a place of shame, anxiety, guilt, frustration, and we're having none of this tonight. Now, I want us to look up and go for the abundance available. As Jesus said, a thief comes to destroy, kill, and steal. But I came to give life, life in all its fullness. So if you haven't been, good news. The weekend is coming to you tonight. Not the singer, obviously. No. I know for some of you, London is tough. It's tough to afford. It's tough to find a place. I mean, the rent market is just bonkers. Or you might be struggling with your career, or your sense of purpose. And it's easy to feel lonely and lost in London. I have been there. And maybe for some of you, it's the contrary. You're like, no, thank you very much. I'm happy as I am. Like Mr. Darcy at first, content with his life, successful, and then, boom, more happened to him. He didn't want to expand his circle, but more happened. For me, when I came to London 10 years ago, a young agnostic Bridget, my first year as a student, I had fun, party, everything was new, but I came because I wanted to escape the pain of my experience in France. And I know for some of you, because I've been hearing, you have tried maybe meditation, crystal, manifesting, and so you are open spiritually and looking for something more in those. Relief, guidance, and it has the appearance of a comfort blanket. But hearing your feedback, it doesn't really bring change, satisfy, or address the issue of seeking. Like me seeking new adventure. And the onus is still on you. And this weekend was all about experiencing the Spirit, as we've heard, experiences God by His Spirit. And for me, my experience since day one has been this. Now, the Lord is Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we all who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory are being transformed into His image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord who is Spirit. The Message translation, I like it said like this. Whenever, though, we turn to face God, God removes the veil, and there we are, face to face. We suddenly recognize that God is a living, personal presence, not a piece of chiseled stone, nothing between us and God. Our face shining with the brightness of His face, and our life gradually becoming brighter and more beautiful as God enters our life and we become like him. And I love it that he said that he's not a piece of stone, but a living personal presence. As we've been trying since the dawn of age, because there's nothing new under the sun, to look for peace in objects, to look for answer out there, to find our freedom from our stuff, bondage everywhere. But it doesn't last or work. And so, what about if it was found in a person, Jesus, who you can experience by his Spirit? None other religion, spirituality will do that for you, die for you. God loves you so much that he sent his only son to become one of us. So we don't have to reach out. He came to you and died for you, so nothing will separate you from him, his love. And not only that, he rose again so we could have a more. And some of you might worry that maybe you're going to lose part of yourself, freedom, fun. He's going to ask you to do something that's not you. But what if instead you become your brightest, fullest, free of self, more of who you were created to be, like we heard in our testimony with Debs? And maybe some of you, you're exhausted. You're going through the motion, and you're thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. You don't know my story. And you're right. I don't know your story. But like we just heard, I know who knows your story, Jesus. And he is able to do far more than all we can ask or imagine, according to his mighty power that is at work within us. And so tonight, this is my prayer. I got it from my mate, Paul, who himself was persecuting Christian and then met with the risen Christ, and then, boom, more, 360. So here is a prayer. I ask him to strengthen you by his Spirit, not a brute strength, but a glorious inner strength, that Christ will live in you as you open the door, the threshold that we heard, and inviting him in. And I ask that with both feet planted firmly on love, you will be able to take with all of the follower of Jesus the extravagant dimension of Christ's love. Reach out and experience the breadth, test its length, plumb the depth, rise to the height, live full lives, full in the fullness of God. God can do anything far more than you could ever imagine or request in your wildest dream, like you've heard in this testimony, Jake. He does it not by pushing us around, but by working within us, his Spirit deeply and gently within us. And I was the same. Let me tell you more about myself. I was born and raised in France, here's the accent, but both my parents are from Tunisia, so I was raised up Muslim. Now, when I was 15, my mom became Christian after having a dream of Jesus, and she was a content Muslim. And then, after that, she woke up to the TV randomly saying, if you're seeking for the truth, ask Jesus, who said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one was involved. She just became Christian like this. Now, I literally thought she went mad because she wouldn't shut up about it. So I was like, no, but for real, I thought she's just mad. And so I decided to become agnostic because I was thinking every religion thinks their God is their God. So no religion for me, plus it's the source of too much hatred. Now, my view of Christian, I don't know, like maybe some of you, but especially in France, I mean, who knows, everywhere. My view was they were old, boring, judgmental, follow the moral code, racist, homophobic, and no fun. Then I was invited to, well, I don't know, you guys have fun, don't worry. Then I was invited to St. Mary's, and the only reason I came is because the student who invited me looked like normal, fun people who I wouldn't expect to go to church. So I remember when I first came thinking, what is it about this place? There is these people. There's something more that I've never experienced before. And now I have language. It's the Spirit. I never heard about the Holy Spirit before, but everything felt so alive and so full of joy. And I was desperate for it, even if I was scared at the same time. Because before that, life taught me that in order to survive, you have to protect yourself, put up walls, do not let anyone in, they will hurt you, especially don't be vulnerable. People will use your weakness against you, and don't love or hope, you end up disappointed. And so because of my experience of France, of not belonging, of othering, because of my heritage, my narrative was, you're not good enough, you're not wanted, no sense of self-worth, love, feeling silence, lonely, broken, cynic, beyond repair. And so it meant that I became shut down emotionally, and I had strong social anxiety. So you can imagine being open to the Spirit was really difficult for me. It was everything I was protecting myself from: love, vulnerability, and opening myself. And so the first time when I came and I was not a Christian and I came to receive prayer, I couldn't even open my hands. You know when say, open your hands? And I'm like, I can't open my hands. But I came because I was like, why not? I was not a Christian, so I didn't know what was coming. I left running, crying, because people say stuff that they couldn't have known, as we heard. But also right where it hurts. And so I left running, but it showed us one thing, that God was there all along, but we were just blind. After that experience, I became a spectator from a distance, and maybe like some of you. Maybe you got burned before, or maybe you're scared of being disappointed, or maybe out of control. Or maybe, like me, you're just scared of opening it up, being overwhelmed. You don't want to feel your pain or your hurt, but it also stops you from fully living, does it? And so my question, sorry for my breath, is what is it that keeps on bringing you back like me? What is it? Because it is true and has been my experience, as it says. He does it not by pushing us around, but by working within us, His Spirit deeply and gently within us. And He always meets us where we are when we open ourselves. He knows our reason, our pace, but He is also the one who holds our freedom, who is powerful to do anything about it. I literally used to call, that walk to that carpet here, when we give you the opportunity to come to receive prayer, the walk of shame. It was because, for real, it was like I was dying of myself every time I was coming here. And so I used to call that in my head the walk of shame. But now that I think about it, it was more the walk of freedom and the walk of power. And so this is when they changed that carpet, I kept a piece of it, of the old carpet, because no matter how painful, difficult it was, this is where I made God. This is where I experienced His love, become my fullest, brightest, freest self, Even if when I didn't feel anything or what I wanted, he is always at work. And I'm no longer this girl who's silent, rejected, dead inside. We heard with Ralph, the breath. I'm no longer the girl who I literally used to hide in the cloak room during social. I couldn't look people in the eyes. I looked incredibly sad and frightened and shy. I used to run away. When I was overwhelmed, to leave. I couldn't put my hands up during worship. The first time that we learned to pray for people, I literally, when they say, now it's the time for you to do it, I literally left running, sobbing, and panicked. And I won't even tell you about speaking out loud. That was another thing. But now, I am the one who's dancing and who's leading the ministry training. And so, like that slide says, open the door and invite him. Reach out and experience the breath. Test its length, plumb the depth, rise to the height, live full lives, full in the fullness of God. God can do anything, far more than you could ever imagine or guess or request. What do you have to lose? What if your past, what other people think of you, your expectation, your career, your relationship, your success, your failure, which all have an impact, doesn't have to define you, have the last say. You could be free of it. What if you could bring all of your hurt, your sorrow, your uncertainty, your mistake, your fears, your worries, your doubt, the injustice, the unforgiveness, the disappointment, the need to be perfect to achieve, the comparison, and be met in them by a love so powerful that it will exchange it for freedom, healing, restoration, redemption, peace, truth, forgiveness, boldness, fullness of life, miracle. Because no wonder there is an epidemic of mental health. It's a lot to carry, but we don't have to, because Jesus came to carry it for you, for us. And his power is made perfect in our weaknesses, not in our strength or effort. So take the free gift. I am taking the free gift. Life told me to be scared of people, not safe, but God is the safest place to let it all go. I wanted more than the narrative that the word and life taught me, and something real and lasting. I want all that he has to offer, the resurrection and the life, and I won't settle for less than what he paid for by his precious blood shed for us. Not only for me, but for the world, especially. And if God can use this broken girl, he can use you. And you know what? I'm going with the God of the universe, the creator of heaven and earth, with Jesus, who has all power and authority. That's the one I'm going for. Now, it doesn't mean that life and the word is going to stop on lifing and that you will be pain-free. But the only thing in my life that was always greater than my fear was my conviction. The only thing that's always been greater is my conviction that he is who he says he is. Even if my understanding and my experience are small, I know he's not. I know he's good. I look at the cross and I look at the empty tomb. And so, and if for you, and if for some of you, you've done this for a long time, what if we need to look up, awake from our sleep, and come alive to the reality that is available to us, that there is more, that we can expand our vision. I believe, help my unbelief. Because from the beginning, our faith is supernatural resurrection. So let's create a bank of story for our trailers tonight. And one way that I love to do that is worship. So we're going to have more worship, but it will be clear to clear the first few rows so we get more space. And you guys from the life course, we can away. You know how to clear the space. And we're going to taste and see, because worship is the language of faith.